on the poker face. Yeah, I know where to go. There's a man over there into the music scene, showing lots of love for the community with great advice. I know who I should go see.
Who's that? Hey everybody, welcome to the program. It is a nooner on a Wednesday here. It's Wednesday with the band live from the All Around Town radio studios. Coming to you from beautiful downtown Springboro, Ohio today. Welcome to the broadcast, everybody. We're going to get right into it because I've got a lot to talk about with this band today. I've been hearing nothing but just so much buzz about this band. They are taking the scene by storm in the Cincinnati area, and we're going to bring them into the show right now. Welcome, everybody. It is Archer's Gate Day here on Wednesday with the band. How y'all doing?
Good. How about yourself?
Hey, everyone.
It is great to have you with us, and man, you guys have just basically dropped a bomb on the Cincy music scene. I'm hearing nothing but all this great stuff, and everybody that I know that's been to see you, and I have to admit I haven't been there yet, is just raving about your band. Where'd this thing come from? I understand you've only been together since 24.
Correct. Yeah. Jake, do you want to answer that? Because I feel like you kind of came to me after the fact that this was already started. So.
Yeah, so we kind of assembled towards the end of last year. My brother and I were formerly in Lift the Medium, kind of rejoined forces with Tony, and the three of us started putting together some ideas down on paper, started writing some music, and then obviously we needed to fill that circle with a lead singer and a bassist. And so we went through several auditions, 43 to be exact in our black book. And we ended up with Emily. A lot of great singers, a lot of incredible talent in the city, and I mean that genuinely. We just felt a great niche and vibe with Emily. So we kind of went from there late of last year. Josh came into the scene shortly after there. And then here we are, Archer's Gate.
So
Archer's Gate.
I'm going to say this. I've been watching some video, and wow. Powerful music. I mean, powerful vocals. Emily, you're off the charts. I got to say that with your vocals.
Wow.
But
thank you so much.
It's so good. And so you put this little project together, and now it's kind of blowing up. And you guys are out there doing it all over Cincinnati. Why the genre that you've picked? Why that genre? And kind of that style of music. Who wants to take that one?
Well, I think we all have a heavy rock background. I think that's kind of where we're rooted. We all have, different preferences and styles of music we all listen to and outside projects that we do. But, I know for me, I love the rock world. I know that all of us have been in previous rock projects. And, like Jake said, Joe and Jake had played together for so many years. And I know Tony was kind of in the mix of all of that. And here we are just doing the rock thing. I think everybody's kind of doing country music and stuff like that. And we're just like, rock is still alive, and it's kind of where our heart is, and it's awesome. So
carrying that torch.
Yeah. And I think we have another band member joining us here. I'm not sure, or we've been invaded, but it said under them that their name was Scott Hall, and that is not who I am. But let's see. Do we know this guy?
Hey, I know that guy.
Oh, Joseph. Yeah.
What's going on? I thought I had to put a name in to join the club.
You did.
That's what I was given.
You
He's
did,
in
but
the club.
you were supposed to put your name. Is this Joe?
This is Joe. Yes.
All right,
Hello.
Joe. You got a new name now. I just added your name there.
Oh,
right, there we
sweet.
go.
Wow.
All right.
Look
Well,
at that.
we're about to get to Brady Bunch status here on all the squares on the screen. But so, Emily, I caught most of that as Joe was popping in there. But it's really powerful stuff. And I saw a video when you were playing at JD Legends, and you guys you were doing some cover stuff, and you do originals as well. But it was just, you had the crowd captured. You could have heard a pin drop on one of these songs our friend Dewey Cole posted of you guys on YouTube. I think it was.
Yeah, he's
and
awesome.
It was fantastic. And why? I mean, I just, it's a different type of music than what I'm used to hearing in the rock world of Cincy. So I want to ask Tony a question. Tony was first up on here. Oh, he was going to take a drink of his coffee or something. Tony's like, it's too damn early this morning for this.
Got to get the sponsor in there.
Yeah. Who's your sponsor today on the coffee there?
Am I allowed to say?
Yeah, I don't care.
Starbucks?
Oh, yeah, we've been to Starbucks. So
Yeah.
Tony is not only a great player, but he's rich because he goes to Starbucks and spends that kind of money
I
every day.
wish.
All right. Tony, talk to me a little bit. You were first up here. Talk to me a little bit about this this style and playing with these folks, because they all seem to be really tight with you guys. You all seem on stage like you're great players together. Talk to me about the makeup of this band.
I mean, I think that I think we have some linear influences, but we also have very different influences. I know for me, I'm real influenced by, classic rock stuff like Pink Floyd and Zeppelin, of course. But then I kind of skip over the 80s and I kind of go into the post-grunge stuff because of my age group. So, Alice in Chains, Foo Fighters, all that stuff. I think with this band, I think you get a lot of that. It's definitely has a commercial end to it, but at the same time, I think that we are also somewhat progressive too. So almost like a progressive grunge is how I think, or at least I think the direction is that we're going in.
That's a good term for it, I think. I not really thought of that, but that really is, because
Right.
it's a little proggy. It is some of the stuff that you do, and
Little
then
bit,
definitely on the edgy side of the grunge side of things, and people love it. I think they love the change and the switch up a little bit. It's you're not playing Separate Ways by Journey, that kind of stuff, and. Not to knock any band that's doing that. I'm not knocking anybody, but you hear those kind of songs all the time, and you don't hear what you guys are doing. So let's talk about the makeup of the band. Who's playing what here? Let's talk about that. Emily, why don't you take that for a minute if you can, and tell us who all is in this band.
Sure. So I'm Emily. I'm the singer. I do play keys some. I prefer to just sing most of the time, but and I write the good majority of the lyrics. We do have some songs I didn't write, so that's kind of what I focus on. And then we have Jake over there who he plays the drums. All of us contribute to writing the music, I will say that. And then we've got Joe who plays electric, Tony who also plays electric, and then Josh is our awesome bass player with his scary bass that he has.
Scary bass. All right. And I like the way Emily guys just said, I'm the singer. Like it's no big deal.
Oh, no.
I consider her the roof destroyer because she blows the roof off of any venue she's in.
Oh,
and,
man.
What a connection you guys made to get her in your band, because she's a perfect fit for this. From what I've seen video wise, she is a perfect fit for this style and type of music. And
Yeah.
Emily, you're getting so much talk around town. People are talking about you. They are.
Well, I appreciate all of the talk. I do. But, our band we gel so well together. We're friends. I've known the Bartoni brothers for a long time, helped them with some of their other projects. And so it just works. I don't think I've written songs as quickly as I have with them. I mean, we're writing music in 2 and 3 rehearsals, and then we've got a new song. So it's just really cool how things have just kind of happened. And, what's crazy is last year I when this all happened, like I was kind of faced with some big decisions on like moving forward, letting other things go to pursue what I want to do, which is obviously music. And it was like once I let go of stuff, all this stuff just started happening, and that to me was definitely like a sign that God was like, hey, you're supposed to do this, like this is what you're supposed to do. So I think it's just all come together really well and awesome, and I appreciate everybody's support and kind words. It means a lot.
So are you guys leaning towards being basically an all original band when you're playing out, or are you going to stay in the cover world too? What's somebody tell me, Joe, you okay down there, buddy? He's looking off into the distance. Like
I'm
he's
good. I'm listening.
watching for birds or something.
It's hard to
after him out
look.
there. Yeah.
The screen's like this big, so.
So yeah, I mean, where are you going with this right now? With the, are you leaning towards the original side?
Who do you
I
want
say
to
so.
answer, Joe? Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I mean, we want to throw some covers into, to keep the momentum. Also, the familiarity is something. It's nice to hear even your favorite bands, whoever that may be, do a cover every once in a while, something crazy. But no, mostly originals, and keep the covers maybe in rotation, switch it up, get some new stuff going on. But we're still in our infancy, so. But as far as what covers we're going to play moving forward, but no, original band to answer your question. Yeah.
Perfect. Absolutely. Thank you. I want to say hi to some folks that are tuning in with us today. And again, if you're watching the show live, thank you. If you're watching after we're live, feel free to leave comments for the band, a question about anything. The band will have it on their page as well, so they'll monitor those comments and answer you later on when you do post them. Got to say hi to Dewey, who's in the house. We mentioned him earlier. Yes, I mentioned your name, Dewey. And Jimmy Kilroy, Shane DeMoss from Half-Life. I don't know if you guys have seen Half-Life, but they rock as well. And they're another one of those bands that's different. They're edgy. And that seems to be coming back into the scene quite a bit. Stephen Bell in the house from Don't Tell Steve. Valerie, thank you for being here. Kent Fry, thank you. Toy Hobbs from Rockstar joining the party today. Thank you. David Thornton wanting to know any recordings out there to listen to. We're going to get to that, David. We're going to talk about that today as well, because they've got a release coming out on the 25th we want to mention here in a few minutes. And Desolate in the house. Thank you, Steve. Brian Scott from Rise to Rain in the house. Yes, good to have you. And Stephanie Sutherland checking in from our White Knuckle Weekend, and all those folks in here today in the house. The rest of you out there, thank you so much for watching with us today here Wednesday with the band. So let me go on and talk about song choices. How do you determine what you play on stage? Who makes the set list for the night, and do you tweak it for the venue you're going to?
I mean, I would say some of it plays into the kind of audience that we're going to be playing for. If we're opening for a tribute band that's playing in a certain genre or something like that, we might throw in a song in that era. We absolutely have been doing covers of bands that we all love. Alter Bridge is one of my favorite bands. I love Miles Kennedy's voice. He's definitely a huge vocal influence on me. And I think, and we've tried to pick things that might not be the typical choice too. Something that's familiar, but also not the normal pick. It's just try to be a little different.
Well, it's definitely different, and it's a breath of fresh air as well. And I think that's good on the scene. And again, I'm not knocking anybody that's been doing it for years, doing the rock covers and doing all the things out there, because Cincinnati has such a remarkable music scene. It is made up of some of the greatest people ever. And I want to kick it down to the silent but deadly guy in the tank top at the bottom there, Josh. Yes.
What's going on, Scott?
Josh, you've been muted the whole time and all that. So it's time to unmute and talk here. Tell us what you think about being a part of this band.
Very grateful, very lucky. I had played in, several other bands before and loved what I did, and ended up in a spot where I wasn't playing so much, and just right, it was kind of serendipitous right then. Jake reaches out to me to audition, and went in, and vibes were great. And I guess just really to sum it up, just grateful, very excited, very happy.
Yeah, and like I said, you ought to be, I think, because there's so many good things happening for this band, and the buzz. When a band gets the buzz you're getting out there in the music community, something's going right. I mean, because let's face it, there are hundreds of acts out there every day striving to get a gig somewhere and working hard and practicing as hard as they can to be better at their craft. But it just seems like every time I turn around, I hear this Archer's Gate name pop in, and they're like, "Wow, have you seen those guys yet?" And that's a wonderful thing to have happen to you. Hi, Matt Anderson. Thank you for being here as well. Alan Dillingham, thank you.
Hey, guys.
Alan says Cincinnati's new rock band is Set Your Ass on Fire. All right. That's a shameless plug brought to you by Alan there. All right. Very good. Thank you, Roger. So let's talk difference here. Let's talk about your music. Let's talk about your originals. Emily, you said earlier we all kind of contribute to the originals.
Absolutely.
Take
Yeah.
me real quick through a kind of a starting point in writing an original for your band. Where does it start?
Well, sometimes it varies. If there's a musical idea that's already been kind of established, we'll kind of go with that and see how it evolves. Sometimes I have a concept in my head of what I want to write about. And then, Tony might be like, okay, well, I have this idea. Like, what do you think about this? And then sometimes it'll turn into someone will have an idea, and when I hear what's played, how it makes me feel, what it makes me think about is kind of what I'll start writing about. So it can vary on how we write, but generally it's kind of just playing around with ideas of a melody or a vocal melody that I might have. Yeah.
So does everyone contribute to the lyrics?
I would say some. Yeah, we have a couple songs that I didn't lyrically write. But the last couple have been kind of me taking the lead on that. But everybody definitely has the ability to write lyrics, which is really cool too. Or I'll be like, hey guys, I don't really like this word. Like, what do you think sounds better here? That kind of thing. But I surprisingly, the band has been very gracious and giving me the freedom to kind of, lyrically write about things that I've got in my head, which has been super cool.
Well, I mentioned earlier how well on the videos I've seen you guys click on stage. You seem to be able to kind of like have ESP and look at each other, and somebody just takes it and just shreds a solo or whatever. Tony, does this happen when you're writing music too? Does it just click between all of you when you say, okay, I'll take that and run with it?
Yeah, I mean, I think that we write very quickly, which is, that's not a bad thing. I guess that could be
not at all.
I think over the past couple of weeks we've written 2 songs, and they're not. It's not bubblegum music. It's actually well thought out vocals and musical parts, and it's awesome. I mean, it's definitely a good vibe all the way around.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, let's talk about this new song. You've got 2 singles out already. New song going to drop this week. So let's talk about that.
On Friday.
Who wants to take it?
Well, I can talk about the lyrics of that. The song is called Suffocate, and it's really just about all of the emotion of life, stressors of life that really just want to suffocate you, or you feel like you can't breathe. And just that battle that you face with trying to, whether it's a relationship, whether it's just, self-worth issues, grieving, all of that, and how you come out of that, with your battle with God or whatever it is that you're fighting through. So I'm really excited about it. It's one of my favorites that we've done so far. We've been holding on to it for a couple of months, and I think all of us are just so we're just ready for everybody to hear it. And if you've been to our shows, you heard it. So you have heard it, but yeah.
So people are gonna ask here on the show. So it's gonna be available on all the streaming platforms, I assume.
Yes.
You guys, when you drop it, it's gonna be out there and available for everybody. Can they pre-order it? Anybody pre-order it if they want?
Yep, they can pre-save it. Yep,
There's a pre-save it, yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Perfect.
And I will say that when we recorded at the is Sonic Lounge in Columbus with Joe Veers. He just completely helped us formulate this sound for the song. Like it just, everything about it is awesome. I can't wait for you guys to hear it.
Got a question popping in. Thank you for that one, Dewey. Question popping in from Shane DeMoss from Half-Life. He says, can't wait to get out and catch a show. Where and when is your next one? We were going to get to that at the end, but let's do it now. Talk about it.
Go ahead, Jake.
Well, we've got a few shows lined up. Our next one, what's the date on that, Emily? I've got 3 dates.
June 27th.
Well, June 27th is the one, we just got okay to announce. We're going to be opening for Back in Black, a Texas AC/DC tribute band. We're really looking forward to that. We played River's Edge quite a few years ago on other projects. They revamped the stage after they had a flooding issue, so we're really excited to get back out there on June 27th.
Perfect. Thank you for that, Jake. I always hate when I put people on the spot and they're like, "Oh, where's that list of what's the date and time on that?" Yeah, we should have probably talked about that ahead of time, but I'm glad you had that with you. And you guys aren't playing like weekly. It's not something that you're out there that it's going to get worn out, because that can happen. Obviously, there's bands that play very frequently, and it gets to the point where I can tell you what song 3 in their second set is after seeing them so many times. You guys are so infrequent. I think that it's become one of those that everybody wants to get to the show. They want to get there to see it, which is cool. It's a great thing, and there's a lot of things obviously that's brought you to this point. Let's talk about artist influences for a minute. Let's talk about people that you have admired in music that have given you the influence to do what you do. And I'm going to start down here with Joe in the very corner. Joe, if you can hear me, tell me who your biggest artist influences are.
Gosh, I mean, it runs the gamut. Everything from Elton John to Metallica to Korn to Killswitch Engage. I like a little bit of everything. But like on a personal level, like some of my influences would be some of the local guys. There's a guitar player, Craig Wilson, and he was my guitar teacher. Right off the rip, I'm like, this guy's amazing. He plays for my sister Sarah. And anyways, early on, before I was, kind of starstruck by some of the bigger guys, even though I was, it was a local guy, Craig Wilson, and Craig taught me guitar. And yeah, I was most stargazed by that guy more so than anybody else, because he's right there sitting in front of me, showing me the stuff, playing, and it's just a great experience, being a young upstart.
Well, Joe, I will say, out of all the interviews I've done, hundreds of them, no one has ever said in the same influencer group Elton John, Korn, and Killswitch. So I will say that is a great thing that you threw all that in there. That's kind of cool. Tony, how about you, man?
Pink Floyd, Alter Bridge are two big groups, but there's so many. I mean, and I like, they influence me in different ways, right? So Jimmy Page, for example, I love Jimmy Page because I love the way he layers his parts in the studio. I love that. I love his brain, David Gilmour, I love his phrasing. To me, he's like the best, guitar soloist of all time. Tremonti, I love his songwriting, so it just depends on the band, but there's too many to name. Yeah.
Perfect. All right. How about you, Josh?
So my favorite band is Pink Floyd, but I don't play anything like that. So my goal is to pull in other things and try to put it more into a Pink Floyd format, if that makes sense. So I listen to guys like Stuart Hamm and Billy Sheehan and Paul Gilbert and bands like that. And so a lot of guys in the shred space, but then it varies too, because sometimes if I'm in the mood for rap, I'll listen to Outkast. So some more hip hop types of things. And then playing wise, I also like to do a lot of funk stuff. So you've got your Chili Peppers, Larry Graham, Marcus Miller and guys like that.
Man, I love you guys. You're coming up with some really good stuff here. All right. I want to throw a quick commercial in real quick, guys. If you're watching the show before, after, whenever, hit that little share button, if you will. Support these folks and support local music. We're going to be giving you their website and all that here in a little bit, and their Facebook pages and Instagrams and everything for you. And as we always say on the show, give them a like and a follow, because it's so important that you stay connected with these bands and find out who and when and where they're playing and all that's going on. So I'm going up to Jake. Jake, talk to me about influences, the mad drummer here.
So I'm all over the map with influences, but to piggyback off what Josh said, we probably didn't know till we were a good month or so in this band that, Tony, Josh, my brother and I, one of our favorite bands of all time is Pink Floyd. So I thought that was always cool. There's a myriad of reasons for that. I've always loved the songwriting, the emoting, the progressive style of Pink Floyd. But to carry it further, I've always appreciated bands like Alice in Chains, Breaking Benjamin, everything from Phil Collins to Pantera. As far as the drummer, I've always been drawn to Mike Portnoy of Dream Theater, Danny Carey of Tool, Carter Buford of Dave Matthews, and the list goes on and on all the way back to Buddy Rich. So definitely a huge. I've got a respect for all breeds of music, and I'm a fan of some of it somewhere along the way. So
Awesome. Outstanding. One more, Emily. Talk to me here. Who influences you?
Well, it's been a lot of different seasons. So, I grew up in church, singing in church. So obviously that's a very different realm of types of music, singing gospel music. I went to college and got a music degree and studied opera basically for 6 years. So I did that for a while, and I loved it, but I always wanted to be a rocker, and my teachers hated that when they're trying to get you to pursue classical music. But I'm glad I did it. It grew me as a vocalist, and continued to sing in church and be in that realm of music. But I've always loved rock. As a younger person, listening to any female rock singer that I could, just because there wasn't that many of them. But obviously Amy Lee. I love Lacey Sturm of Flyleaf. Just her journey with her life and how she writes, how she performs, all of that. I love her. Celine Dion vocally, Whitney Houston, CeCe Winans, all kinds of phenomenal female. But Miles Kennedy is another vocalist that I love. Love their band Alter Bridge. I love so all kinds of things that kind of vomit what we are here today.
Man, could I have written this script any better today? I mean, the things you guys are saying, I would have never predicted in a million years. Emily, you would have said you started in the church and you ended up here, and that you were doing classical music in college. I mean, they're doing opera. I mean, that's just that's well-rounded, and it's no wonder you have such a powerhouse voice. And, you listen to people like you mentioned, Amy Lee, and you listen to interviews that went on with her, and she kind of said the same thing. She was all over the place styling wise. And you mentioned Whitney Houston and people like that, because you can learn from those people, can't you? I mean, you really can listen to their vocal quality and learn how to do your thing on stage, I suspect.
Mm-hmm. Well, and you don't grow from what you know if you don't listen or play other genres, so it's pushed me. My boss that I work with, he's heavily invested in the gospel realm, and gospel music is very difficult. If you didn't know, if you've ever tried to play gospel music, it is not easy, and singing gospel music is not easy. And so that's been a challenge for me, is to just get better at soul and all that kind of stuff. So it's really cool. It's very cool.
Absolutely. All right, let's change gears for a minute here, guys. Anybody have in their career, because you guys have all played other places and done other things, we've got a couple minutes left to talk about any fond musical memories that stand out for you. Maybe you opened for somebody, maybe you played on stage with a family member, something like that. Anybody have any fond musical memories they want to share with us?
Wow, man, that's a hard question, Scott.
I can.
That's why I'm here. All right.
Opening for my brother and I were in another project, and it was MTV2's Project Revolution, I think it was, right, Jake? And we got to open on the second stage, but the two headliners were Linkin Park and Chris Cornell. So that was
wow.
Cool. Yeah,
that's pretty damn good. It is. Absolutely. Yeah. Anybody else?
Well, I was a part of a project last year. We were considered for a Grammy. We weren't nominated, but we were considered. So that was pretty cool. Definitely a big step in, a new realm that I'm not used to. So obviously releasing music, getting it out in the world is very vulnerable, but exciting. I've opened for a couple of people that are really, really cool, but I don't know, just getting my music out there is just super humbling, and I think more meaningful to me right now. So.
Okay, so what's your take, guys, on social media? And I know you have, we're going to pop up here some things. Social media has a two-edged sword with the music business, we know. But you guys are out there on all the socials. We're scrolling it across the bottom of the screen. If anybody wants to follow the band, it's real simple. Archer's Gate on most of the platforms. Archer's Gate Band on YouTube, which you can see videos and such. But what do you think about using social media as a tool as your band to promote what you're doing?
Does anybody want to answer that?
I think it's needed now almost more than ever. It's taken a driver's seat as far as promotion and marketing for any band. And you're still in a saturated market even then, because everybody's got, platforms and so forth. So we are definitely trying to push forward, engaging in those efforts. I will make a side note really quick that we are in the home stretch of having our website. If you do see it popped up below, archersgateband.com. We are in the home stretch of having that. We'll probably have it up here live in the next week tops. But yeah, we tried to engage in these efforts as far as Facebook, Instagram, and moving forward, pushing that music digitally. It's a tough pill to swallow, kind of in that era of coming out of music when it was physical, when it was tangible, when you looked at lyrics, you saw the art, and now you can just plug in a USB or go to your computer and hit a song off a digital platform. So there's a lot of morphing into that new kind of how is music perceived, how is it received, and those kinds of efforts. So
yeah, I couldn't agree more, Jake. You go back to the 80s, and I mean, the social media wasn't there. I mean, it was posters on the telephone poles of your band gigs and those kind of things. I mean, literally, it was boots on the ground. Now, with one click of a button, you can reach masses, which is, I think, is awesome from that aspect.
Sure.
Now, the downside to it is the trolls and the people who do stupid stuff. And, we were talking about that on yesterday's show with Karis from The Bell and the Bear, and it was just, certain people enjoy that playing in the platform. You ever get any haters? You ever get anybody that comes on your page and just as a hater? Because I haven't seen it.
I mean, I would say on my personal page I have, but I haven't seen anything on our actual band page yet. I'm sure it's coming. But also just learning the algorithms and social media changes, I feel like every week. Learning like when to post, the best times of day to post. It's just, there's a lot. It's literally
work.
like, it's like a part-time job learning how to do this. It's even since COVID, everything is so different. But you have to do social media in this time period. You have to know how to do it. Because that's where everybody is living right now. So
that you do. Tony, did you have something to add there? I think you were trying to pop in a minute ago.
Oh, no.
No, you're good. All right. Well, Dewey has a question. Let's throw it in there. He says, do you plan on recording more at Sonic Lounge? And will you eventually work towards an album and focus on singles for now? What's your thought on that?
Go ahead, Jake.
Great question. We've been asking ourselves this very same question in the weeks past. So
thanks, Dewey.
We are definitely recording with Joe Viers. He's actually going to be relocating in the coming months. But we have a great history with Joe. We have a great energy in that room, and great minds together when we put together our music and have Joe behind the reins of all the sound and helping us produce those efforts. As far as putting that all together and assembling into an album, we are thinking of going that route. Right now, we do have a lot of singles that we want to push, but we are considering releasing a conceptual album, kind of package that all, because we kind of have a story that's unfolding, and it's very linear to the story that we're telling throughout each of these songs. So that kind of prompted itself to lend it to maybe doing an album that we thought warranted that effort. So.
Yeah, and I love the title of the new one, Suffocate, and I love the way you described that, Emily. That's very intriguing to me to hear the lyrics and want to know what your feelings are, because it sounds like your writing, all of you, is deep. It comes from things that is an experience in your life or things like that. It's not, as Tony referred to it, bubblegum music.
Right. Yeah, I would say we try to keep it uplifting, just because there's a lot of negative already, and we want to leave people feeling hopeful when they see our show. Obviously not everything we write is going to be pretty and awesome, but it'll be awesome, but it might not be like feel good music. We've all been through a lot, and we have a lot that we want to get out there, and we live in a world that is very again stressful, and suicide is very popular in our culture, and addiction, all those things. Like I think spreading hope is the way to go. So that's kind of what we're doing. Hopefully that's what we're doing.
That's outstanding. Thank you for saying that. And I couldn't agree more. And if music were just made up of all happy songs, it wouldn't be nearly what it is, because music brings feelings and shares what people have experienced, and sometimes that's tragic, and that's not a bad thing to put in a song, I don't think, when you've experienced those kind of things. So I've got one more question. We're running out of time today, and first and foremost, let me remind everybody, you're watching Wednesday with the Band with Archer's Gate. If you've not seen this band yet, like I haven't, we're going to get out and see them, and we're going to catch a show. Yeah, well, I know on my birthday I'm definitely there.
You got to come to that show.
Emily's already she set my birthday schedule already. Did you see that? She's giving me the mom finger right there. Yes. That is like, you're going to do it. So follow this band, guys, on the socials if you can. Like they said, the website that you see scrolling up there will be up in a week or so. So watch back for that. Right now, if you click on it, it goes to the developer of that and all that. But you can catch that. And what's Dewey says, can we talk about the show at the Bell? That Karis let out of the bag. Well, no, but thanks, Dewey, for dropping that in there. I'll let Karis do that. Brett, thank you for that comment. If you've got a comment for Archer's Gate, if you're watching after we're live, which a lot of you will be after we share this on our pages, please make some comments and tell the band what you think. If you've seen them, especially, I know Dewey has just raved about you guys to me.
Thank you,
so looking so forward to catching a show with you. And follow them on all that social media stuff. Last question of the day, ladies and gents. And I'm going to start with Josh down there in the bottom. You can take this first. You're going to be the guinea pig on this one. So I always ask this of everyone I have on the show, whether they're a national act or a local act. If you could take the stage with any artist, past or present, who would you want to be on stage with?
Eddie Van Halen, 1978.
Hell of an answer, Josh. Thank you. Good job. Jake.
This is hard.
The first thing that honestly comes to mind, because I've never been so hit and moved by music, probably Lane Staley of Alice in Chains, the acoustic set. So
very good. All right, let's move down to Tony.
I have no idea.
Come on, Tony.
Tiny Tim. I don't know. I need some comedy in my life. Jimi Hendrix. I don't know. I'd open for Jimi Hendrix. That'd be cool.
No, you get to play with Jimi Hendrix. It's
a
duo.
Yeah.
Well,
and most of these people we all know we'd be standing on stage just kind of drooling and watching them play, because it'd be so awesome to be standing next to them to begin with. How about you, Joe, out there fighting the flies and the bugs, I notice?
Queen.
Yeah. Wow. Now that I would not have expected either. So thank you for that. Emily, you're in the hot seat.
Oh, goodness. So I'll just say I would love to sing with Celine Dion. She's been a huge influence on me, but I would love to play with Alter Bridge currently. That's a goal right now, is to play with Alter Bridge. I love them.
That's another cover or another answer that I would have never expected Celine Dion out of you. Watching your videos and all that. You're about the furthest thing from a Celine Dion show there ever was. But obviously, she does have great vocal qualities and that. And I think that's undeniably one of the best vocalists of all time in her world. I thank you guys so much. Do you have anything else you want to share that we didn't get in today that you want to talk about real quick? We got about a minute and a half left.
I would just quickly like to say that we do appreciate all the support. This is a very genuine project, very close to home for all of us. Getting back to that writing process earlier, there's parts where Emily has sung drum parts to me and I've sung vocal ideas to her. Tony's come up with an idea for bass. Like, we're very opinionated, and it's really helped develop what we have in the shoot right now. So we're very excited to unveil all this music at the early onset of this band. So
all right, I got to ask, you said opinionated. I've got to ask, you guys ever disagree when you're writing a song? I mean, do you ever have heated, spirited disagreements?
Of course. Oh yeah.
All the time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, good. It wouldn't be a good song without it, honestly.
No.
Somebody said,
together, so
that just doesn't fit, right? I mean, I'm sure you said that. That just doesn't fit the song or the theme we want. Right. That's awesome. Anybody else have anything they want to share before we go?
Just thank you for having us on here. I know there's a lot of amazing artists that you feature and that play in Cincinnati that, we are a newer group. So all of our friends who have been commenting and just being there to support us, it means a lot. And we're just really excited about what's coming. And don't forget about the song coming out Friday. All streaming platforms. Download it. You'll be yeah, we're ready for it. So
Get on there today.
Get on there
Pre-save.
today.
Pre-save.
Pre-save.
We'll be seeing Scott on his birthday, so y'all better come out. August.
Wow.
August.
In August, she's already planning my day. I like that, Emily. Thank you so much. Guys,
You're
you've been
welcome.
wonderful. You've been wonderful to have on. Anybody else? Somebody else jumping in? I don't want to step on anybody. We good? All right. You've been wonderful to have on the show. Thank you so much.
Thanks,
I
Scott.
cannot wait to get out and see a show from all of you. And the other thing I want to say here to everyone watching today is please go like their page and follow their page. It's so important that you support the artists that we have on the show. That's why we do it. This may look like minimal viewers at noon on a Wednesday, but it will grow and be big. And we're going to gain you a couple thousand more fans, I hope. And that's what we want here.
Thanks.
And so we'll let you enjoy your day. We'll let Tony get some more of that Starbucks coffee. So he's having a better time today. And yeah, thanks so much for watching, guys. I'll be back with you tomorrow live at 5 with who's playing out the best musicians and venues in the tri-state and who's playing where for the week. So you can plan your week of live local music, and we'd love to see you then. Until then, you know our motto here at All Around Town Radio. That's get out and support live local music and the bands and venues that bring it to you. Thanks so much, Archer's Gate, for being with
Thank
me.
you, guys.
Thank you so much.
Hang in there with me for just a minute, guys, if you can.
Working for the weekend.
Sing it, Emily.
I don't know the words, but I only know that first line.
Ladies and gentlemen, don't forget the views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of our sponsors or any entities they may represent. You've been watching All Around Town Radio, our weekly programming every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, brought to you here by a host of great music supporters in the Cincinnati market. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.